The person who can least afford to have a bad Super Bowl is Richard Sherman. Here is why.
Interesting.
First of all, Patrick Mahomes. We know he's going to fling that football. He is throwing to all world receivers like Tyreek Hill. McCole Hardman is no joke. Sammy Watkins is no joke. Okay, we get all of that. But it was Richard Sherman who was in the news recently being called out by the great Darrelle Revis, who basically challenged him and said, you just zoning in. You're going to have to man up in this particular Super Bowl because you got a bunch of great receivers that you're going up against, and we're going to see what you got because I traveled. I did what I needed to do. I covered nobody right side, left side, slot. It didn't damn matter. That's what a corner is. Now, Deion Sanders, prime time, the greatest ever.
Yes.
Lamented the fact that you had guys at that position going after each other verbally, and I totally agree with him. I don't think it was right for Darrelle Revis to call out Richard Sherman like that. But since he did, and since we heard what he said, now you're Richard Sherman, who basically was in a press conference before Darrelle Revis called him out, talking about how I've done this, I've done that, I lock down people, I get interceptions. You know, the completion percentage against me is pretty low. These are all the things that I've done. Who else is doing that? Now you're going up against monsters in the Super Bowl. They're coming for you because we know Kansas City ain't going to beat you running the football. It's going to be with Patrick Mahomes throwing the football. Richard Sherman cannot have a situation where we're looking at him and we're saying, you got roasted in the Super Bowl. That can't happen. I don't believe it will happen because I believe he's a bad brother. But that can't happen because if it happens, his reputation might be stained to a degree where we're actually questioning his Hall of Fame credentials. Not me, but some people might do that.
You can't stop the passing game of Kansas City for 4 quarters. You can't do that. Somebody gonna get toasted. Somebody gonna get their ankles broke. Somebody gonna have to eat it. I don't think Sherman's not having a good game is the worst thing can happen. I happen to agree with Max. I think Patrick Mahomes has to have a superb game because he is the Kansas City Chief offense. You know, they're gonna run somebody over there. They can help Sherman out.
Yeah.
He got hair, you know. You can tie somebody up.
Reputationally, I think the one who can least afford it, because if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a great game, reputationally, it's Andy Reid.
Really?
Andy Reid,
Jimmy G.
And no, because Jimmy G got to the Super Bowl. He had a good season. People can use that as a building block. Like, he got there. Maybe he can win it going forward. He is on a good team, good coach. But Andy Reid has been there before. He's been to the NFC Championship game 1,000,000 times. And his play calling and clock management have come under scrutiny. And he's known as a great coach, but can't manage those moments. If Kansas City loses because Andy Reid mismanages the end of the game, it is devastating for his reputation. And the flip side is, if they win, Andy Reid now joins the elite of the elite.
Here's where we disagree, because once again, I'm speaking reputationally.
Yeah.
Of course, Patrick Mahomes is more important. He's the quarterback. They throw the football. We get all of that. But reputationally speaking, again, if you're Richard Sherman and you get smoked, we're talking about a guy that we've been talking about in Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame conversation. That gets damaged.
If Tyreek Hill beats you,
no. We're going to hold. I'm saying if he gets toasted, as Steve said, if he gets toasted. Now, if the other corner, Emmanuel Mosley, he gets toasted, that's different. If you can't get to Patrick Mahomes, that's different. But if everybody's doing their job, but he's targeting Richard Sherman and this go roast him, that's a problem. When you talk about Andy Reid, you could sit up there and have the perfect game plan, but your offensive line can't protect Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid's not going to be held but so accountable for that.
Know what I love? Okay, go ahead.
Go, Steve.
Hey, man, but how is it that in this game, Jimmy G, the quarterback of the 49ers, is not being held fully accountable like a quarterback
I can answer that.
He's the most important player on
I agree. If they're going to win,
That's
he's
what
going to have
I
to ball
just
out.
said, that I think he's the one that has the most to prove. I mean, Stephen A. said the jury's still out on this guy.
Well, what I've said, Steve, religiously is that it's not that Jimmy G's a scrub. He can play, and he deserves his money, $72 million guaranteed. All I'm saying to you is this.
72.
$137.5 million
for
$72 million.
We got to get a Super Bowl. $72 million, you have to get a Super Bowl.
Harvey money.
But
I'm sorry, that's
$72 million
paper.
since you sat down here. What are you talking about?
I tell jokes. I host Family Feud.
That's right.
That's a different kind of money.
There you go.
I make families happy.
there you go.
He made most of that $72 million since this show started.
But I would tell you this. the layers that they have to go through. And this is what I religiously say about Jimmy G. He's the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. Here's what you think about before you even get to him. You think about San Francisco's defensive line. Yeah. You think about their secondary. You think about their running game. You think about the play calling of Kyle Shanahan. This is before you even get to Jimmy G.
Jimmy G, it's
before you even get to him.
First season where he's made it through the season healthy, starting. The man's in the Super Bowl. Like, if he doesn't win, it's not the end of the world. Let me say something about Richard Sherman, though. This is what I love about Richard Sherman. This dude's ego is solid. He went to, from Compton to Stanford to the NFL to the All-Pro to eventually the Hall of Fame. And here's the thing about Richard Sherman. He's about to go up against the sickest passing attack basically ever, the fastest dude, basically the fastest land mammal, Tyreek Hill. And this dude puts the spotlight on himself. He is not scared. No. Success or fail, he is not scared.
He's Compton ready.
He's ready from all walks of life.
Hood boy go damn near West Coast Ivy League.
Yep.
He's a bad boy.
I appreciate that. I truly do, because I'm a huge fan of Richard Sherman.
I appreciate it because I didn't finish school.
But let me say this to you.
Just
because you ain't scared, what the hell does that mean?
That's everything.
Oh, because the greatest of all time put the spotlight on themselves when it's most difficult. They go out on the limb, and then
I'm speaking rhetorically. I've seen plenty of dudes that wasn't scared that got toasted. They weren't scared. It didn't prevent them from getting toasted.
That's what makes it brave.
I agree with him because I'm not scared, but I can't check nobody. But I will lace my cleats up for the same money Jimmy G getting and go out there and swear to God you ain't scoring on me.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.